In this video, we're going to go over how to calculate the average daily balance and the finance charge for a credit card. Some of the problems that I'm going over are from the website that you see on the screen by Latoya Irby. Average daily balance. The average daily balance method is one of the ways a credit card user can calculate finance charges on your credit card. The average daily balance method uses your balance during the billing cycle multiplied by the APR for that balance. Your average daily balance is the sum of your balance on each day of the billing cycle divided by the number of days in the billing cycle. Think of it this way: whenever you have an average, like let's say you're going to calculate your test average, you'll take all of your tests, add them up, and divide them by the number of tests. So average daily balance is the same thing. You would take the balance of every single day in your billing cycle, which is typically about a month, depending on the month of the year. You add up the balance for each of those days in the month, and then you divide by the number of days in the cycle. So that's the average daily balance. Then to find the calculation for the finance charge, you would do the average daily balance times the APR times the number of billing days in the billing cycle and divide by 365. This is a formula that you probably want to pause this recording and write down. So here's an example of calculating the average daily balance. This is actually the hardest part of finding the finance charge that will be charged to that billing cycle. So again, once you find the average daily balance, it's pretty easy to find the finance charge, but there's lots of steps involved in calculating the average daily balance. Remember what I just stated, that the average daily balance is when you lay out day one of the cycle, here's the balance. Day two of the cycle, here's the balance. Day three of the cycle, here's the balance. And you lay that out for every day within the billing cycle. You add up all of those balances and divide by the number of days in the billing cycle. Let's say that your APR is 12% and your billing cycle is 25 days long. You started the billing cycle with a balance of $100, and it doesn't change until day 4 when you make a purchase for $100. Then on day 20, so again, it stays the same from day 4 through day 19. But then on day 20, it changes again when you make a $25 payment to your account. So your daily balance for each day during the billing cycle would be this. From day 1 to day 3, your balance, or how much you owe the credit card company, is $100. We know this because we're told that you started the billing cycle with a balance of $100. So without any transactions on days 1 through 3, your balance is still $100. On day 4, you make a purchase for $100. So if your balance was $100 and then you make a purchase for $100, you now owe $200. And that starts on day 4 and it goes through day 19. Why day 19? Well, because on day 20, you make a $25 payment to your credit card company. What that's going to do is it's going to reduce your balance by $25. So $200 minus $25 is $175. So that's explaining why the balance changed from $200 to $175 is the $25 credit. On day 20, that happened on day 20. We also know that the billing cycle is 25 days long. So from day 20 to 25, there is a $175 balance, meaning that is how much you owe the credit card company. So $100 was the beginning balance, $175 was the end balance. And then in the middle, there was a $200 balance. If you need to, write all of this out. Day 1, $100. Day 2, $100. Day 3, $100. Day 4, $200. Day 5, you do day 6, day 7, day 8, all the way up to day 25. And you need to, that would outline the balance for all 25 days in the billing cycle. Then to calculate your average daily balance, you total your balance from each day in the billing cycle, even the days that your balance didn't change, and divide by the total number of days in the cycle, which is 25 days. Now let's go ahead and do those calculations to find the average daily balance. Summarizing what we were given, we know that the APR for the credit card is 12%. The billing cycle is 25 days. The starting balance was 100. Day 4, there was a $100 purchase. And day 20, there was a $25 payment. Remember that purchases are going to add to the amount that you owe to the credit card company. But when you make a payment, it decreases what you owe to the credit card company. So we already went over this, but days 1 through 3 had a $100 balance. Day 4 through 19 had $200. Day 20 through 25 had a $175 balance. So here are the calculations. Because we have 3 days, day 1, day 2, day 3, we're going to do 100 times 3, which is 300. Remember that the end, what we want to do in the end here is add up every day in the cycle. Whatever the balances are for all 25 days, we want to add those up. So this is basically 100 plus 100 plus 100, which I just did 100 times 3. It's the same thing. And then day 4 through 19. How many days was it that the credit card balance was 200? Well, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. If you count that on your fingers, you will get a total of 16 days. So the balance was $200 for 16 days. Multiply that out, that's $3,200. And then on day 20 through 25, that's day 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 6 days. So that's 175 times 6, which is $1,050. Add up all these days. That's 4,550. And then divide by 25. That's the number of days in the billing cycle. That gives you the average daily balance, which is $182. So now that we have the average daily balance, we can easily calculate the finance charge. So the finance charge is an amount that's added to your credit card bill, sort of like interest. It's like what they charge you because you're carrying a balance on the credit card, okay? So it's a use of the credit card. So we're going to get the finance charge, you take the average daily balance, which we just calculated, multiply by the APR, which was 12%. Remember, you have to convert that to a decimal when you put it in your calculator, and that's 0.12. Then the days in the billing cycle we were given were 25. And just to confirm that, we can do 3 plus 16 plus 6. And you can confirm that that is, in fact, a total of 25 days. And then divide by 365, which denotes the number of days in a year. That will give you your finance charge, or the amount that you owe the credit card company in addition to any of the charges or payments that you made throughout the billing cycle. So there's the calculations there. Please pause this recording and put it in your calculator and make sure that you are getting the correct finance charge of $1.50. If you do have an error, just remember that 12% has to be input into your calculator as 0.12. So that is the finance charge. Let's take a look at another example now. This one may look familiar to you as it is in the course content. Suppose this is your credit card statement, and some of the areas have been grayed out where we are going to calculate what these are. Just taking a quick glance at this, let's just read it and just see what we can come up with. So first of all, we have a billing cycle here of July 19th through August 18th. If you want to find the number of days in the billing cycle, then you'll do July 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, blah, 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 blah. There's 31 days in July. Then you start over and go to August 1st, August 2nd, August 3rd, and so on, all the way through August the 18th. So if you would like to, then pause this recording and write out all of those days and then count the number of days in the billing cycle. Most credit card all credit card statements, who am I kidding? They're going to have a payment due date. They're really firm on those due dates, and you will get a late penalty if you don't pay it by the due date. They also give you a minimum payment due. So maybe you spent a lot more, $2,000-$3,000 in a month. They do let you carry that balance over if you can't pay it all at one time, and that's going to be right here for the minimum payment due. But whatever you don't pay, they are going to charge you interest on, so it's certainly in your best interest to pay it off. However, this person did not pay off the credit card balance last month because the previous balance before this current payment period was $2,342 and $42, yeah, $2,342.51. There were some payments made and some credits of $150.21. We can see that down here. There was $100 that the whoever's credit card this is, let's just say it's yours, that you made a payment for $100. That means that reduces your balance because you made a payment. And then you also returned something to the hardware store, and it could have been something, that was in this amount at some point, charged on this credit card. And then they refunded you $50.21. And that also is going to reduce the balance on your credit card statement. The purchases you made during the, period of this statement was $410.89. You can see that over here. Part of it was for gas, part of it was the hardware store, part of it was flowers, and part of it was groceries. But all of that adds up to $410.89. The total credit line, that's how much you can spend total. Once you've spent $3,000 once your balance on the credit card statement reaches $3,000, then they won't let you put any more money on the credit card. So we're pretty close to that, aren't we? At $376 is all that's left. So hopefully, after this statement period, though, there will be a large amount that you make a payment on. The cash access line. So there's no cash that was put on here, but you can use your credit card to get cash. Typically, it's going to be at a higher interest rate, but on this credit card, it isn't. Your interest rate is 28, or the APR is 28.99 for purchases and cash. But for most credit cards, it's going to be pretty high. But this one, in fact, is pretty high too for purchases. And let's see here. All right, so that kind of sums up this credit card statement. So let's see what we need to do. We're going to first, like we did in the last problem, find the average daily balance. So on your paper, write out July 19th, July 20th, July 21st, July 22nd, July 23rd, and go all the way to July the 31st, and then start over in August, of course, the new month. So August 1st, and then write out all the way through August the 18th. All right, when you're done writing all of that down, then resume this recording. Okay, so hopefully you have all of that written down now each day. And the starting balance is $2,342.50. So on the first day of your billing cycle, which is July 19th, you need to write that the balance on July 19th was $2,342.51. On the 20th, well, the balance was still $2,342.51. And it's going to continue to be the balance through July 22nd. So for 4 days, you're going to have that balance. So write down next to July the 19th through the July 22nd. Mine's not exactly how you have it on your paper, but just repeat that balance for the first 4 days of the cycle. Then you'll notice here that on July the 23rd, you went and bought gas, and it was $70.61. Pretty big gas tank, huh? And expensive gas. And that's going to increase your balance, right? So whereas your balance yesterday was $2,342.51, it's going to increase by $70.61. So on the 23rd, you're going to add $2,342.51 plus $70.61 for a new balance on the 23rd of $2,413.12. On the 24th, guess what? Another change in your balance. It looks like on the 24th there was both a payment and a charge. So you're going to take $2,413.12, subtract $100, because if you make a payment, that decreases your balance. But there was also a charge that day, so you're going to have to then add $139. What did you get for the balance on the 24th? Pause this recording and calculate that. So what I got for the balance on the 24th was $2,452.12. This remains the balance all the way through the 27th. As we can see, that was the 24th. There are no transactions on the 25th, 26th, or 27th. So I know that that balance stays the same for those 4 days. 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. All right, pause this recording and continue to calculate the balance for each day throughout the billing cycle. All right, so in checking your answers now, the 28th, there was a charge for flowers of $24.95. So I'm going to take the previous day's balance, which is here, and I'm going to add $24.95. So my balance has increased since I made a charge to the credit card. That will go through August the 2nd. Then on August the 3rd, another charge. So on August the 3rd through the 17th, 18th is when there's another charge. So that means through the 17th, which is 15 days that we did not use the credit card, or really 14 days after the 3rd. It's $2,653.40. Then on the 18th, there was that return from the hardware store purchase, which decreased the balance by $51.21. If you need to, pause this recording and check this. You should have 4 days of this balance, 1 day of this balance, 4 days of this balance, 6 of this one, 15 days of $2,653.40, and so forth, for a total of 31 days in the billing cycle. Please check your answer and make sure that this matches what you have on your paper. Then, how do we calculate the average daily balance? Remember, average. That just means add them all up and divide by the number of days. So when I added them all up, I got 78,000. Let me go back a little. There is $858.25. There were 31 days in the billing cycle, and that gives me an average daily balance of $2,543.81. Now what? Let's find the finance charge. That was the hard part. It's a lot of steps to find the average daily balance. Why? Because there's so many days in a billing cycle. Usually a billing cycle is around a month. So you're going to have anywhere from about 28 to 31 days in a billing cycle. So that's a lot of different things to calculate. Now, if you don't use your credit card, it's not that hard to calculate the average daily balance because the balance doesn't change. But when there are some purchases or credits, payments, things like that, or returns, then the balance changes frequently, and it's just more steps to calculate the average daily balance. Then to find the finance charge, remember you take the average daily balance times the APR, number of days in the billing cycle, divided by 365. So there are the calculations. Please pause this recording and plug that into your calculator and make sure that you're doing it correctly. Keeping in mind that the 28.99% was given to us on the statement. It said that on there that the APR is 28.99. Putting that into the calculator, you have to move the decimal over 2 places in order to convert it to a decimal format, which is 0.2899. Then to find the ending balance, you have to add the finance charge. Essentially, that's just the interest that they're charging you to carry a balance on that credit card. The 2603.19, that was the balance on the very last day. Look at your paper, and it's going to say that the very last day of the billing cycle, that was your balance. But then you've got to add to that the amount of the interest they're charging you, and that's the $2,665.82 would be how much you would owe if you wanted to pay the entire credit card off in one lump sum. It does say that you have to make a minimum payment. You don't have to pay all of that. And the next question was, what percentage is the minimum payment to the new balance? Well, 9330, that actually came from the original statement. Let me show you. Where is it? Here it is. All right, it said the minimum payment due was 9330. Well, apparently, this credit card has some method of, calculating what your minimum payment due is, and it appears to be 3.5%. Because if I take 9330 and divide by what I currently owe, which is from this slide, 2665.82. Well, it says 81 here. Remember, it can vary by like a cent due to rounding, but divide that out and you get 0.035, which that's the number that will come up in your calculator, but convert that back to a percent and you get 3.5%. So this should give you some insight on how to calculate the average daily balance and then how to use that to calculate the finance charge for a particular statement period for a credit card. If you have any questions, please email me.